What's going on? Yeah. Oh, a quick update in the... Oh, by the way, Blue and Chloe are just good old buddies now, wrestling. And they haven't wrestled, but they're doing tug of war with toys, and Blue literally brings over the toy to play. So it's not like it's accidental. You know, it's not as if, you know, Blue was holding on to a toy and then Chloe ran over and tried to take it, and then Blue got pissed off. It literally, like, Blue, after he'll bring it over to have them do tug of war. I had to verify that, but it did happen. Okay, yeah, it was two. What's going on? Yeah, so the other case with the two kids missing in Rexburg, I was just going to say that somebody sent me the autopsy, like just the write-up of the death of Mr. Ryan, Joseph Ryan, I think is his name. And in that one, it sounds like he died from some sort of osteo something or other. I don't know, something about his arteries or something. Hey, something about the arteries, and you know, so maybe that one was natural. I don't know. I've always thought that was kind of an outlier one. It was kind of too much before the other three. Yeah, look. Hold on. They are pals now, everybody. You see that? They just make a hell of a lot of noise, though. She's pretty strong. Come on, Blue. So for those of you who came here and you don't like this, get the hell out of here. I don't give a shit. All right. Just get to the point, man. Never seen so many babies comment, you know. I'm sure some of you have seen some of the comments like, gosh, after 5 minutes I had to use toothpicks to hold my eyes open. And I was like, well, good. At least your eyes were open. Fortunately, you had to use toothpick. I actually didn't say that. And they actually said they didn't have toothpicks to hold them open. Yeah. What? What do you mean, where are you from? What does that mean? Like me? I'm from here. Anyways, yeah, I went back out there today and I drove around in my vehicle. I don't know, I didn't need to say vehicle, right? I mean, if I said drove around, you probably would have known that I was actually in a, yeah, I live in Oregon. Yep, thanks. I'll let you know if I want to tell you, okay? You seem really antsy, like you really got to know. Like, what difference does it make, you know? Look at that. Gosh. I got to know exactly where you live. Yeah, I live in Oregon, okay? 30-minute drive. Will that help you out? Man. Okay, well, see you later, bud. Because I know the clues you don't know. Okay. Well, hey, how about this? Start typing in the clues. If we deem them important, we'll actually give a shit, okay? If they're not, then you'll be out of here in 20 seconds. All right, so here we go. I am going to switch screens here in a second. Because I know the clues that you don't know. Right. Okay. I actually do have mapped out spots of different locations. Yeah, I know where they were searching too. I was out there today asking people. Okay, just don't type for a little bit of time though. Okay, in a little bit, I'll see if you have something interesting to say. But you gotta get your money? What does that mean? But you gotta get your money? Okay. Alright, see you later, bud. Not interested. Not interested. Man, that guy was like typing diarrhea. Did you notice that? Let's see. I can always spot them a mile away. You could just tell by the first question, you know? And then they just keep going on and on and on. Let's see, so GoPro, there it is. And then, there we go. And, ooh, yikes. Okay, whew. For a minute there I thought I didn't have them. Alright, so I'm going to show you on the other screen. So a lot of this is just, you're just going to see raw footage of me rambling on like you normally do, right? And I am going to be just describing what's going on, and, you know, I'll pause it every once in a while. So here we go.
Hello, freakazoids! I am now driving down Highway 26 in, sort of out in the Beaverton, Hillsboro area, heading out to the
Can you guys hear that at all? Or?
Allyson Watterson apparently was last seen. I'm going to try to go talk to people at, maybe even at their homes, to see if they can tell me where they've heard that she was spotted. Okay? Now somebody else actually messaged me on Facebook and said she was spotted.
It's not the loudest.
The same morning of the 24th.
Yeah, it was like 44 degrees.
With boyfriend, but that doesn't really make any sense. If he was in a car, I mean, if that's true, that she was seen with him that morning after he was found in the truck, I guess, it sort of opens the door to some other scenarios, if you know what I'm saying. So, anyways, interesting stuff. I'll turn it back on when we're getting near the area.
Now we're getting near the area. Yes, field trip. This is the GoPro connection that I told Cairo he needs to get for his vehicle.
My GPS doesn't seem to be working quite right, although this looks mildly familiar. Let me check.
I did look left, even though it's not looking left. No, I did not take them with me. I got out of the car once. And I did talk to these couple old guys outside.
Mavic Mini, but that won't be flying today. That's for damn sure. Okay, yeah, this looks like the right direction. So I'm just going to try to give you guys a feel of what it actually looks like out here.
I even drive you guys to the command center.
I guess there was another exit I could have taken back.
Right, that's what I was just saying, Cairo, that you need to get the thing that you put inside, you stick it to it and then attach it, and especially with the Hero 7, it actually has image stabilization, and if you notice, look how still the footage is. It's not bouncing around.
As you can see, it's really rural out here. But there's homes.
Hey, thanks, Curious Georgia.
They're not that far apart. I mean, they're far
Hey,
apart.
look at the bear flying down the road.
Compared to the neighborhood,
Yee!
for example. But out here, you can see them. I mean, especially if it was at night, you can see a light on at somebody's house. Okay, so this left right here is the direction I'll be going here in a minute. However, I wanted to show you guys, I think, where the command center was.
Okay, that left right there was what I would normally take, but this is actually to the command center that was there on the 24th and 25th, probably the 26th.
I remember it was like left, then the left, around in here. I think this left right here is what I'm remembering. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't hike out
And
here.
there's a school right up here that they were using
It's ridiculous.
for the command center.
That was one of the things that me and all three of the people that I talked to out there all said, that you wouldn't get lost, and it's not a place to go hiking.
So the sheriff, when I spoke to the sheriff, he was about right about here where the car is parked. That door right there.
The door in front of us right there is
where only
right there.
authorized people could go.
That one.
And this area right here, just off to the left here, is where the family. So if I back up right here, I can show
I'm sure
you.
this looked really weird because I didn't need to
It's kinda
back
weird to
up.
back up here, so I don't need to.
So
That's
inside
where
that
the
door
family
is where the family
is
was.
located inside those doors right there.
Like there was like 10 people in there huddled
That's
up.
where I talked to the mom, and then she gave me the address of where to go. Okay, so now we will go out where the address was, and is
North
exactly
Plains.
where at least there was something related to the boyfriend there, because the guy, I pulled over there, flew my drone, and then the property owner came
I got
out,
a lot of stuff
checked
figured
with
out on
the
this
lights
trip.
On the 24th, and on the 25th they said, oh, well, we did say you could walk down here. I walked like 30
Wow,
feet
Karen K,
down.
again. You are so kind. Whoa! The crazy cat eyes down the road.
Sheriff pulled up. He was like, yeah, right here, you know, so it sounded like he was
Best night
something
ever.
mean.
Ray is great and
Right
the
there.
49ers a division. Shom's face blowing a kiss, smiling
Maybe that's
face
where
with
the
heart
vehicle
eyes.
was
All
located,
right.
Or that's where
I'm glad for your 49ers. I'm sure Lanky Tor would be happy with that too.
spotted, or where he was found.
So right here I take a right
He's got
because that's the road I was supposed to take a left
Right,
earlier.
so here's that other road that I was going to take a left on earlier, but I wanted to show you where the command center was.
Okay, so now we're heading out
This
towards
road
the
here.
area. All right.
And you can tell, again, it's really, it's country roads, but everywhere you look, there's another house.
Well, it was suspended because they looked everywhere that they could think of looking and thoroughly and with dogs and didn't find anything.
I'm hoping it clears up soon.
So that's
because
why.
I could fly the drone and do a hand catch. It's the Mavic Mini. It's below 250 grams. Okay, and at the end of this long road, you can turn left.
What if the Mavic Mini though you can use and put it on YouTube and not have it be? Huh? I didn't think about that. I never
Not
asked that.
alcohol, though, okay? It's just hot chocolate or some crap.
Yeah, why not? Why can't you use the Mavic Mini on YouTube?
So we're going on the other side of the
Huh.
road.
I'm gonna look that one up. Is a drone below 250 grams? Do you have to worry about it being for helping a business out? Because it's actually below the threshold is considered a toy drone. Huh. Well, because it takes great footage. So.
Okay. And right here.
So here we take a left here.
Now we're not too far away from.
It is, I mean, Oregon's really pretty.
And right as I make this turn, you'll see a big chunk of trees way off in the background. And see way back there in the background there? That's actually around the area.
Yeah, it's
where
actually north of that further. Right, I was just asking if the one that's below 250 doesn't matter about the 107.
Driveways and mailboxes.
I don't know. I don't know about that. It's just a question.
There's almost
I
no
know
way
what-
you could get lost here.
I know if you're furthering
I
a
think you could
business,
get
you need a 107. That's not what I was asking.
Trapped somehow. Like if you fell into some kind of an area and then you just couldn't get out and then you got overwhelmed.
Yeah. Hey, that's like the Jody area
That's
shower
one thing I
shot
can
right
envision
there.
here. Right, so here's all those long, big, tall trees, and it's really dense. You could actually see those tree stumps on the right as they're how dense it is normally. They just cut them down. Okay, so that I guess that cluster of trees isn't the exact spot, but it's kind of what it looks like. When I said earlier to look up into the cluster into the back. Okay, so here we go. We're getting close. We go down and then around a corner, and then we'll be in that area. So again, I mean, look at all the fences and mailboxes. When I first got here, there was people parked right in around in this area, walking down to the left there.
But see how this isn't a hiking area? You know what I mean?
And when
It's
I
just,
pulled up, there was a guy.
it's a
working
road.
his property right here, and I asked him.
yeah, there's a guy right
Where to
there.
go, and he said, yeah, they're searching up there. And then that's when I decided to go back to the command center, and that's when I got the address from the mother.
Oh yeah, Jody area.
Okay, so we're just about to where
Okay, here we
I
go.
was flying the drone. So I flew the drone right here, off to the left, right.
See, this is where I was able to fly the
That
drone.
property. Let me turn around.
Yeah.
Here. So look at all these cars parked right
See,
here.
I think he was in one of
This
these
is
cars
where he
sleeping.
may have been sleeping in one of these vehicles right here, something like that, right?
Because that's the property right here.
And then if you drive down here, that's right where I was flying the drone, right in front of you, kind of out over that opening that you see right there, looking down. I didn't see anything. Okay, so I'm actually going to go turn around and then drive further up there. I was hoping there'd be somebody outside. It's weird how many fewer people are. There's nobody. I mean, there's actually 0 people. But on those 2 days, there was cars driving by every second. Okay, like every 2 seconds, there was somebody driving by. Really beautiful homes out here, some of them, but that property that I just looked at isn't one of. I think it's an older property that's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I saw it was on the East Coast earlier in the news. I did see that. It's become a lot bigger. I came up with a pretty crazy theory at the end. It was really kind of a joke, but hey, who knows, right?
Yeah, then I flew the drone up over in this area just off to the left here. You can't really see it, but here, just a second. I'll see if I can.
See, right now we're on Old Pumpkin, Northwest Pumpkin Ridge Road. Yeah, off to the side there. That's where I flew the drone there as well. I wonder if I'll say something that I wasn't really thinking about.
I guess I could just hold it for a while here.
So this is what it looks like off to the side here. That looks like a manicured forest, if you will. Almost looks planted.
And then over here, there's just this massive field. I was going to fly over that and look at it, but
That's when it started drizzly.
turn around.
It's cool how stable that is, even though I'm just holding it with my hand. Okay, that was. Then it switched over to another tape there.
Yeah. So this is just what the area looks like.
Or clip. I mean.
it just doesn't feel like there'd be much of a chance to actually get lost. I mean, even though it's wooded, you know, if you look down there, it's very wooded area. But if you just walk straight for a while, you would find a house, as I've said 1,000 times. However, I could see getting stuck down there if you didn't have the right gear on. But, you know, humans are pretty resilient and strong. You can figure out a way to get out of something, unless you broke a leg or something of that nature. So now I'm just driving way away from the area that I was given the address to. See, I mean, it's just really, there's houses all over the place. Sorry if I keep rambling, I'm just trying to fill the airways with something. I know I'm not streaming or anything right now.
Hey, a car, wow, a miracle. Because even on the main Pumpkin Ridge Road, there's no, Pumpkin Ridge is a golf course out there.
I'm thinking of pulling over and then going to a house.
High-end golf course.
Where they, you know, they may have been spotted.
The boyfriend story is, it's kind of, it's a weird story. We don't really,
about any kind of dog.
there's very little information about the story.
These private property owners, from the private property owners.
Yeah, Chloe in blue. It's so good to see. All right.
It sounds like they did a really thorough search, though. Grid search, went walking through with hundreds of people and covered every single area that they could think of looking in the area of interest.
I did like the lack of traffic because there's a couple times I just swerved over the other side of the road without looking at anything.
Mountain of just places that you could go search. You know, that first area seemed rational. You know, the key to all this would be is the boyfriend. He's the last person to see her. Hopefully, they've taken him out here and he went back through what he remembered and where she was seen.
Yeah, wouldn't you think they would have taken the boyfriend out there?
Police
take him out there and walk through and go, okay, where were you?
Information and, you know, items or whatever of interest.
So you think, oh God, come on, Chloe. At least you guys are having fun, I guess. I mean, they're just totally playing now. You know, Blue's got his mouth open. So it's good to see, so I don't really want to stop him. But, yeah, so I was driving way out here, but I thought, okay, I'm getting too far past anything relevant. So then I turned around, and I stopped at this guy's house, and he said, no, it's up there further where they saw, somebody saw both of them together. And by the way, everybody, where the last phone call was made. So I've got that information. And that information was given to me by one of the searchers. I don't know if it's the guy in the chat or whoever that is in the chat here. It could be a woman. I don't know, but they gave it to me on Facebook. All right.
Which is, that seemed encouraging at the time. But then where did she go? I'm going to go back down to that location.
Okay, and this is where I go to somebody's house, and they had I don't know if you'll see it, but they had probably the biggest German Shepherd in the history of mankind in their yard.
So hopefully you guys are getting a feel of this area. It is very wooded and dense, as I almost ran off the road looking off to the side.
Yeah, there was a last call. Or I don't know if it was hers or his, but
there's private property down there.
And nor do I know when it was. I just saw the map.
Okay, but even if you're down there and you walk straight across, you're going to run into.
I mean, his story has a possibility of being mildly true. I mean, it's like there's
quite as treacherous.
Right now I'm on the other side of the road. Oh, get back over the other. Okay. Thank God nobody was coming up right then. Hey, thanks, Kyra.
pulling over and asking.
Maybe you can look up to see if having the below 250 grams, you can use it for whatever. So I think pretty soon here I see a house and I go, this looks pretty reasonable. I think it's down a little bit further down here. I think it's right there, that one with the white and red car there. I just say, ah, screw it, I'm doing it.
Or maybe I'll try right here, see what happens.
It's a wide angle lens. But look at this German Shepherd who comes up on me. It's crazy. Here we go, here we go. I'm gonna go around the corner here. I've got all my now watch this dog coming in. Watch this. Oh shit! I thought I was gonna die right there. Oh my god! He came running around. I was like, oh my god! Can you believe that shit? That thing. He probably weighed 200 pounds. Or 100 actually. And then the guy came out, and then we talked for. I'll just fast forward it because. We talked for like 8 or 9 minutes. He said that there was people searching behind his house. Went all the way down there, and then he eventually tells me, points to his right, where I came from, and then that's where. Look at that German Shepherd. Hey, come on! You're still playing? Yeah, you're still having a good time, huh? Finally, you have a buddy to play with. I got Blue on my lap right now. Come on, Blue. Yeah, so really nothing going on right here other than I'm talking to the guy and eventually he points to the right. And then I tried to drive up there to figure out where the hell this was. So I think this one actually runs out another 4 minutes, and there's nothing going to be changing, so I'll get rid of that one. Yeah, so I'm going to head back up
with the
there, like that.
He also said he concurred that there was absolutely...
Oh, wait, let's see.
That was interesting. I'm sorry I didn't have it on, I don't know if you could see me back there, but I actually did talk to that guy.
Ray, I promise he so peed on your tire.
German Shepherd here. It seems pretty
oh, yeah. Oh, did he really? That's awesome.
He actually told me that it was up here where he was spotted with the girlfriend. And he also said he concurred that there was absolutely no way that she could get lost out here. No way. And he had search and rescue behind his house there. So, man, now we got to drive up here. Maybe we can try to narrow this down a little bit.
Yeah, so his house is 1.2 miles from the original place that I flew my drone. So now we know it. It at least started
the largest
after that
dog I've ever seen. Well, not ever, but massive German Shepherd. When it comes running up to you barking, I was like standing still and I waved inside, and then the husband came out. That was insane. But at least I did get information that search and rescue said no, he was seen up there. So now we're going back that same direction I just went. And thought I was too far out of the way. So let me see if there's any other homes that look...
I'm hoping you can hear those two guys that I was talking to. The window was rolled down a little bit later.
Dog in their yard. I'd like to know where this was up here, though.
Yeah.
I wonder if law enforcement ever just puts like X's on the ground so that they can remember. Probably just use GPS. Makes more sense, doesn't
it? Yes, it sure does.
That's just me thinking out loud.
Oh, I just mentioned you, Ada. Watch.
Like my friend Ada does all the time.
I was thinking out loud. But you typing.
Yeah, so this is still Pumpkin Ridge Road here. I think this is not old Pumpkin Ridge Road though. This is the newer one, and it bypasses what's now called Old Pumpkin Ridge Road.
Oh wait, you gotta see the. I'm not even playing the video anymore.
Yeah, I was talking to the guy. He sounded like he thinks like me. He goes, yeah, you could do couldas and wouldas. I brought up those couple of scenarios that people said on the channel, on the calls last night. But you know, both of us just think, wow, she couldn't have got lost, and it seems like, you know, either he has something to do with it, or he knows. He needs to come forward. I'm sure he has. I'm sure law enforcement has got a hold of Garland, brought him out here, and said, okay, walk us through what you remember. Okay? And they're getting that information from him. I'm sure they've done that. Unless he's lawyered up and not saying it got anything. Well, there's a couple of people standing there. I was wondering, maybe
Those two people I do turn around and talk to.
Try it here in a second.
God, it just keeps turning off.
Yeah, lots and lots of private property, and as you can see, I haven't really driven by another car because it is Sunday. People chill out, watch football, whatever, and it's drizzling slightly.
Okay, so I do talk to these guys coming up. Right here.
Hey, I was wondering, do you guys know where the, hold on a second.
So the guy walked over to me.
Yeah, I'm from Portland. I do a true crime podcast. I know I've been following this case out here. Do you know where that was, where he was spotted with the girlfriend? It was
down on Old Pumpkin Ridge Road?
Yeah, but apparently he was up in this direction, spotted by somebody walking.
I heard that, but I don't know who it was.
Okay, because I actually was just down there to somebody's house that has a big German Shepherd, and he said it's just the biggest German Shepherd I've ever seen. But he said yeah, it's up this way was where they were spotted, and then where he was found in the car was further down, kind of right where it starts to turn. I've been there. It's on Old Pumpkin Ridge Road, but it was actually on this.
Old Pumpkin Ridge Road is back down the road, or what?
Yeah.
3 miles?
Yeah, but it was up in, so that guy's house was just right down there, and he said that they were seen walking or seen by somebody up this direction, which is interesting.
I know they were searching down
Even further?
Keller Road.
Can you guys hear them at all? I can't really hear them.
Yeah, I
I
heard.
mean, I can hear them, but not loud.
Yeah, and they went walk down Murphy Road.
Yeah. It just doesn't seem like you can get lost out here, does it? At
We
all.
were just talking about that. You can get
Really?
lost around here pretty easily.
But don't you think if you just walk in a straight line, you just find a house? Well, did you guys argue back and forth?
You don't get hurt. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. If you get hurt, you might get.
Yeah, so the guy said, oh, the other guy was really saying you can get lost if you get hurt. It's almost impossible to get lost there if you're not hurt.
Stuck somewhere.
If you go down past my property,
Yeah.
there's a pretty deep canyon.
I mean, you can get lost, right? Like, if you've never been there before, you're lost. Like, oh, I don't know where I am. Except there's houses everywhere. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not like you're in this weird, desperate, in the middle of the woods, I can't find anything. Everywhere you go here, if you just walk in a straight line for 8 minutes, you're running into a house.
In down there, and if you fall down and hurt yourself,
Right.
you're not climbing out. You can yell your lungs out. Nobody's gonna hear you.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. But getting lost, if you're healthy, would be tough, right?
Yeah, as long as you don't panic and you're physically okay, you should be able to walk out, no problem.
Yeah.
Yep, you might have to turn up your headsets.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it seems like you could just. I mean, I use Google Earth a lot, so even from above, you can just see houses. They're all over the place.
Roads and everywhere.
There's a spot way out there that it's just pure woods for a huge.
Personally, I don't think she's here anymore.
Yeah.
He said he doesn't think she's
It
here
seems
anymore.
like he did something happen. Well, we don't really know if he did something, but what if, it could be a scenario where they separated, like they got in a fight, and then somebody gave her a ride, and then that's what happened. Yeah. There's a lot of.
He said he thought of that.
All kinds of things.
And once she found out that they were out there looking for her and all that, she may be too scared to say anything.
Yeah.
Oh man, am I going to be in trouble if I come out and say something?
She may be too scared to say anything.
Yeah. Well, now it'll be, no matter what, if that is true, she comes out now, it's just horrible.
Yeah,
So
people are going to be really TO'd.
I didn't know what to do. Well, she could come out with the he had a stolen car, and I was because I guess apparently there was
Oh, he's a moron.
yeah.
He's a moron. He said moron. Yes. Man, I love these guys.
Yeah, what's strange is somebody on. Well, there's a lot of weirdness to this, but apparently when they came back out after the dad reported her missing, that's when they found him, and he wasn't far from the stolen car that they believe he stole. I mean, why would he come back out and be dropped off?
I don't know. He says that they got separated in the woods. Well, you don't go off and leave.
Yeah.
somebody separated. You wait till find them.
Right.
You don't just go off and leave them.
And where were the woods? I mean, is that down there? I mean, that's just.
If they were on Old Lincoln Ridge Road, there's woods down
Yeah,
there.
but why would you go
They
into the
separated
woods?
in the woods, and and then another person.
Go off and leave people.
Yeah, nobody does that. Nobody does that, especially like at night. It's your girlfriend. You don't go. Well, fine. You go walk. Really? Yeah, that doesn't happen. What was the other? Somebody on my YouTube channel, because I do like a live show. They said in a comment, they were in one of the search groups, and they said that at I think it was 8 in the morning, the next day they saw, the day that they found him in the car, or that the person on Old Pumpkin Ridge found him in the car, that they saw her walking too with him. So how's that? It's weird. That's the
They're
next.
still trying to figure out that 30-hour
Yeah.
lag time in there.
Yeah, it's like, you're gonna wait when if you saw her in the middle of the woods and you can't find her, you'd call the police that night and say, hey, unless there was something you were doing.
Okay, gotta move to the next clip.
I guess if I could have kept going to different.
Oh crap! Is that where it cut out? Wait, hold on. Maybe it's this one.
I know, probably somebody will zoom over the hill
Okay,
and crash
right.
right in there. Okay. All right. But yeah, I mean, most of the property out here is private, obviously, so it's hard to. I tried to fly my drone up, and the one guy said, "Yeah, go ahead," and he flew it up. And then the next day, I came back out and walked like 30 feet over here onto the property. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "You could, So then I was like, "Oh," but that was right at the place where I guess
I had these guys chuckling.
on Old Pumpkin Ridge Road.
Laughing.
There's a house that has all these cars, and I think that's where he was found sleeping in one of those vehicles and then driven back in. So what is your final theory?
Final what?
Your final theory. What do you get?
I think she's gone. I don't think she's
Yeah.
around here anymore.
Okay,
I
that's
think somebody picked her up, or she called somebody and they came and got her.
probably pretty likely. You know, one thing that was weird. I went to the school, met the mom, and I shook her hand. She seemed really calm. Like literally everything was just the warm, no shaking or anything. It was weird how I was kind of struck by how calm she seemed.
John and his wife were out walking that same day or the next day, and the grandmother was coming up and talked to them. He said, yeah, she was just as calm as could be. She seemed to be taking care of
Yeah, like the grandmother and the mom
Yeah.
are really calm.
The mother? Yeah.
mother, grandmother, I don't know.
Yeah, it was misty, I think.
Yeah, it just didn't seem to be overly worked about it.
Yeah, it was a little odd, but yeah, I guess how about this as a conspiracy theory?
Here we go. Here's my
Whole
theory.
thing, I mean, she's very pretty, looks like a model, but maybe hasn't got any exposure. So you do this whole thing. Now it's on national news. You see her, and then they'll come up with this story. Oh, you know, they'll put her. They got her somewhere. They'll put her in the woods somewhere. She'll come stumbling out. Oh, right? You like that one? There we go. Conspiracy theory. I just thought of it while I was talking to you guys. All right. You inspired it. That's a new novel coming up.
Well, okay.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Tell him that story and then, collect half of the proceeds.
Yeah, I should get half. All right, man. Thanks.
And they were just classic people that live out there too. If you'd seen their faces, it was awesome. Cool dudes.
Well, I don't know if you guys could hear a damn thing what they were saying, but yeah, I was coming out with I just came up with a wild conspiracy theory that it's all a hoax for exposure. All right, now we're gonna head back down to the original spot. That's crazy though, you know? That they were spotted so much further up, a couple miles even. So that does, now again, that gives more credibility to his story that they were walking, the car broke down, and then they were walking, and then they got separated, and he was looking for her, and then he goes to sleep in somebody's vehicle. I mean, that seems kind of odd too. Why not just knock on somebody's door and...
Because the thing is, I was actually told they went to a house or something like that, knocked on a door, and they were both muddy and wet. Okay? So that's weird, right? But what are you doing in the woods? There's no reason to be in the woods. Okay?
say, hey, I'm lost out
Thanks,
here.
Linda
My
Howell.
girlfriend's lost. Can I call? I need to have somebody come pick me up. Instead, you sleep in a pickup truck. Does that make sense to anybody? Doesn't to me.
Linda Molden Howell.
Those two guys are really cool. I wish
Cattle
I had
mutilation.
them on film, but I didn't. So. They were just old, you know, a couple older guys.
I can't get off of that, Linda.
Chilling out,
I'm sorry.
Talking. And they were just talking about the case themselves. And one of them was a little shorter, a beard. They just seemed like really cool dudes. Exactly the kind of guys you'd want to hang out and have a beer with if you lived out in an area like this. Okay, now we're getting further back down to the old Pumpkinhead roads coming up here in a minute. I should have actually measured the distance between at least the person's house that had the German Shepherd to that spot to get a minimum distance. But they were saying, yeah, 2-3 miles. Oh wait, no, I think it's right here. Okay, so we're at the location where the German Shepherd is.
Just past that.
The odometer, and we've got
Okay.
91.
So you start getting this picture that they maybe have been on foot for well over a mile. You know, and that's a long ways when it's cold outside.
I'm just looking at this miles. 749.0 is what it was at.
Man, Chloe's got a pretty big yap on her there.
Get to the actual address that I was given on Old Pumpkin Ridge Road. So you can see maybe they walked down this way. Maybe somebody drove by and saw them.
See, for Oregon, this is really kind of minor league in terms of scenery.
By you. But as you can see, only 1 or 2 cars have even driven by me since I've been driving.
But yeah, I mean, it looks great compared to like some other places where it's
They may
just
have
flat.
walked down
Everything
the
looks the
road here.
same.
But why would they ever be in the woods at any point? It just doesn't make any sense. Why would you ever
Yeah,
go
like,
into the woods?
why would they go in the woods? How could they possibly get muddy?
Okay, it's right here, down this road. I almost missed it. So this is Old Pumpkin Ridge Road right here. So from that house with the German Shepherd that I pulled over.
Yeah, but you wouldn't need to get muddy to get high.
You get an
Okay.
accurate distance to there.
That's
so
not always the answer for
minimum
everything.
distance.
Hey, you're muddy. How come? I got high. Oh, wow. There's a t-shirt for you.
We're getting close.
Man, you look muddy. How come? I got
Came
high.
down Old Pumpkin Ridge Road here.
There it is right
It's
there.
Right here. So this is 0.3, so 1.2 miles to that spot. But you can see just how dense it is. Let me show you guys.
Yeah, so I think we're just kind of heading out. I'm just driving out now, but I'm going to show you what it looks like.
Search and rescue was going right in there.
See, that's pretty
Look at
dense
that.
right there, right? Like a
Really
jungle.
Dense.
So if you got hurt in there, it'd be hard to get out.
See that? They literally walked into that right there.
That's where I saw them. They were right there. And then just to the left of it is a manicured tree area. Watch. Like right there, it's totally different. See that? Now it's nice and clear.
And then there's groomed property just to the left of that area. But, you know, if you got injured in there, just like those guys I just spoke to said, you would have a hard time getting out.
See, I was just on the other side of the road
Stay in
again.
your lane, Gray. Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Gray, you're talking third person.
See, even on my drive, I was making the jokes.
Okay.
man.
Yeah, there's some other slow drivers.
Yeah, let's do that again. Here we go. Listen.
Stay in your lane. Just to the left of that.
We got to play that again.
But,
Here we go.
You know, if you got injured in there, just like those guys I just spoke to said, you would have a hard time.
See, that's just the way I am, everybody.
Stay in your lane, Gray. Stay in your lane. Gray, you're talking third person. Okay. Yeah, there's some other slow drivers here. Probably checking things out. Not like I turned. Really beautiful homes being built out here, by the way.
Yeah, there's a bunch of these log cabins being built
Side
there.
you can't really see.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna fly my drone up in the air. It's way too misty. Could rain at any moment. But hopefully you guys got a little better feel, as you know the area that people were searching. I wish what I should have probably done was put the camera in my pocket.
I must have
and record the
schizophrenia.
audio, but didn't think of that at the time when I was talking to the neighbor. Although you guys would have probably thought I sounded like an idiot when I was bringing up those other theories that people brought up just for conversation. Peace. Alright, here is the turn.
Yeah.
And we'll be heading back home now.
Yeah, you can actually attach these the GoPro to the Mavic 2. So you can have two ways of filming at the same time. What they really need to do is if they can finally get like 10K,
every
360 degree.
I spoke to, which was 3 people, but 2 completely different areas, they all said the same thing, that there's almost no way you could get lost out here.
Hey, thanks.
They all said, yeah, you could get hurt.
Daddy-o,
And
Caspian
not be able to get
horses. Rock.
But nobody thought you could get lost, and that's what I've been saying on the show since the beginning, really.
No, that wasn't a skunk, it was a dog.
All right. Well, maybe when I get back out on the Highway 26, I'll turn off the recording. Yeah. Wish I could get more information. Have specific information. I know, probably somebody else's. I guess if I could have kept going to different homes.
All right, I'll be back in a sec.
But I have a suspicion that a home that they would have gone to definitely have a dog, like a pit bull or something like that, defending it. I mean, even that nice house that I went to, the neighborhood where the guy came out, they had a huge German Shepherd. But I would think that if you went to a less than, I don't know. I'm just picturing some of these other homes that I could see off to the side that have probably been there a long time. They're really kind of just property owners. They didn't buy it to build their life dream home on it. Some of those properties look pretty dodgy. But I'm gonna head on home now. Yeah, it just it feels like she's been taken from that spot. Because there's the dogs didn't seem to hit on much. They could have. Maybe that's what they're saying when they found items of interest and the dogs maybe hit on them. I don't know. If they found any of her clothing items, that would be pretty ominous at that point. Okay, well, we're back on the Highway 26, heading home. So, see you guys.
Well, there you go, everybody. Hope you guys, thought that was at least interesting a little bit. Okay, but now we've got more information to go with here, because after that, see, it was neat, because what we did was we verified that this is where he was found sleeping in a vehicle. And if you remember by the video, remember all these little vehicles here? Apparently he was sleeping in one of those. That person actually took the guy home, Garland home, okay? But as we confirmed today, I drove on this red line. I have it go right to that guy's house. This is where the guy's house was that I went to, where the German Shepherd was, right there. As a matter of fact, I think I can see the German Shepherd sitting on the ground right there. I wonder if that really is the German Shepherd. Who knows? But anyways, that's where I went, and he said it was even further up north, okay? Up that direction. So that's interesting. Then when I got home, I was talking to this, yeah, definitely J-Vision. Then I was talking to this person that was in one of the search parties, and he gave me one of the maps that they were using. He let me see it, or just like an image. So let me pull this one up. Okay, see that? So this is one of the images that he had. And this is what it was when they were giving it to him. But look at that, last call at this location, and then start here. Like, okay, start there. Maybe that's where the car was? Maybe? I mean, what if the car broke down there, and that's why they say start looking there, because we know a call was here after that, and then we find him down south, so obviously the flow, if you will, is south like that. Okay. So I couldn't figure out exactly where this was originally. Let me see if I have a bigger... Oh yeah. So then I looked down here and I saw this arcade a cemetery is what I came up with. And then I realized I wasn't even close to the right area. It's up here. Look at this. So now we're going to open up that map again. And then I'll move it. Now you can see that same curve right there, right? And there's that and this. And so right there is this. And then it curves around and then goes straight down. So basically if I zoom out about like this and open that back up, it would almost be the same. Okay, so it turns out that this house right here is where a last call was made from. Okay, right there. And then they're saying to start looking right there, so maybe that's where the car was broke down. Then they got out and went to this house. Apparently, I don't know if this is exactly the spot, but that's where they were muddy. Let me read some of these notes over here that was sent to me. It said, okay. It says, I have no idea where they found the car first. Homeowner said that he last saw them on the 22nd. Oh, on the 22nd. Okay, I see. When I thought he said, I thought he was saying 22nd Avenue at one point. When they knocked on their door and asked for help. So that's what's weird, right? Is they actually knocked on a door and asked for help. Somebody claims. They and okay, let me read this whole paragraph to you guys. It says, I have no idea where they found the car. The first homeowner said that he last saw them on the 22nd, so that would have been the day prior to him being found in the car. And when they knocked on their door and asked for help, they were covered in mud like they been walking through the woods. And then 10 to 15 minutes walking from the first to the second homeowner, he said he saw the couple walking on Monday morning. See, that's weird because Monday morning is, let me get this. That's the 23rd. So how did he see them walking on the morning of the 23rd when the 23rd is actually the same day they found that one neighbor found him in the car sleeping? I don't get it. I don't get that part at all. Does anybody understand that at all? The first... Where's 20? Oh yeah, and it says also I found something, and he showed me some video, an image that maybe looks like footprints. I don't know, but this was behind the first homeowner that said they knocked on their door. Okay. Let's see. And I said, so is that where it says last call? Yes, they said the last call was inside from the purple mark on the map. Okay, and I said, I don't see a purple mark on the map because the image we're looking at here doesn't have a purple mark. I guess that is a purple mark, that little tiny thing. I didn't see that originally. Then he gave me a bigger map and then said, yes, sir, the cops marked that as the last call from that spot. So there literally was a phone call made. See, doesn't this seem they were both there. So, you know, at that time, she wasn't really in danger or anything. Man, it's like they just started playing together, so now they just won't quit playing, okay? Oh, I was thinking it was a different dark-haired or green-haired girl with an, you know. I don't think they could be mistaken. Now, the one on the 23rd, that doesn't sound right. I said, well, maybe it was his phone call, though. So they're making it, he was saying that it was her phone. That's the last ping from her phone at that house. But I was like, well, how do you know it wasn't his phone that they're talking about when it says last call there, right? There is few pieces that just don't make sense, he said. And I said, yep, exactly. And so that's where we're left at this moment. Okay, so should I open the lines again for people to call in? I'm going to do it. And by the way, earlier this evening, Morph and I recorded a couple conversations for the premium membership of the Scene to the Crime Delphi podcast. We did that at about 6 o'clock this evening. Yeah. And don't forget that starts on the 2nd, everybody. And make sure you share that with everybody. We got to get that one going. And I don't think it's going to have a problem on its own, but okay, I'm just getting the number in here. All right, so right now up above is the phone number. Yep. And you just type in that code and it's all good. So you pick for the West Coast people that I'm more interested in hearing from tonight. People who live in Oregon, actually. Maybe people that actually know them. Here on the left. That's the number you dial, 669. Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just looking something up really fast. There's been some posts on the Facebook group related to this. Gotta find it. There it is. Okay. So it says, what you can do to help tomorrow, December 30th. Many of you will be returning to work tomorrow. As you make your way there, please remember to look for Allyson in the course of your daily activities. Remember, we don't know where she is or why she is missing. But it is possible she has voluntarily left the area. Hey, and maybe out there somewhere. Yep. That is possible. Check the faces of the people you encounter. Watch for Allyson's blue eyes, that beautiful smile, that nose ring. I have double-checked in regard to Allyson's current hair color and had been advised that the image below was posted on Allyson's Facebook page on December 19th. Her hair is black in color right now. It may appear to have brown or teal tones in the sun. If you work in some sort of public view, a gas station, a restaurant, a rec center, etc., consider printing a poster to print to work. Remember to get consent before you hang it anywhere. Regardless of where you work, to ensure your coworkers are aware Allyson's missing status and the need to search their own property, including any security dash or trail camera footage in their possession. Ask them to check their systems between 12 noon on Sunday, December 22nd, and 6 p.m. on Monday, December 23rd, when Allyson was reported as missing. Someone may have... Hey, thanks, David. Someone may have footage that will help to fill the 30-hour gap and not even know it. Should they find anything of note, that information should go to police. And apparently this is the image. So that's kind of what her hair looked like. Maybe a little bit of teal in there. Alright, so is there anybody out there that knows anything that wants to call in? Hey, and David became a freak family member. And by the way, yesterday when I was talking, it was sort of like a moment of lizard eye, basically, where I just didn't say it right. But what I'm saying, when people send me emails on their theories, I don't really care. It's just the ones that want to debate in the emails. Like, I like it when you guys say, hey, great, what do you think about this? And then I respond. I just don't want to keep going back and forth for days and days and days over some minuscule point. Okay? So that's the difference. I don't mind if any of you guys send me emails with a theory or anything like that. What I was really kind of just referring to is just going back and forth, and just sort of a mind-numbingly boring, just nothingness. I got to do other things. I got to, get a show ready for the next night, and I have a real job too, another one. You know what I mean? Like an actual full-time job, and I spend almost as much time on this job. Okay? And it'd be cool one day where I could say this is my, real job sounds kind of weird. I guess you would just say a side job. But it's more of something that I like to do, which is interesting. It's fun to actually be able to, make some money doing something that you really like to do, right? Yeah, I don't know. It's more than a hobby. It's kind of a, having a YouTube monetized channel is really just a secondary job, but it's definitely not, doesn't, at this point, I couldn't quit my other job and do this, you know what I mean? And I like the other job, so. Yeah, and then I'm just so busy. I do 3 Minute of Mystery, and then now I'm on in another podcast called, I always forget the name, it's called Scene of the Crime. And then the name will switch, like Delphi, and the next one would be something else. Yeah, thanks, Tammy. Yeah, I mean, I do. I work really hard to try to get you guys interesting information out there. But what's weird is you got some YouTubers say, well, have you ever been to Delphi, Gray, and filmed? You don't know anything if you haven't been to Delphi. Well, I do. Actually, if I went to Delphi right now, I could go exactly everywhere I wanted to go. Okay? Yes, I don't have the exact same perception you do, because I'm not walking around there. Okay? But if you have a brain, you don't need to actually be there to figure stuff out. Okay? Now, I'm not saying to you, how come you're not here filming? Okay? Because I realize you're 3,000 miles away. I get it, I'm one of the people who actually get stuff like that. And you wouldn't spend the money to get here. I guarantee it. Hey, cool, M-Kaz. Well, the phones are open. If you guys want to call in and come up with a rational theory using all of the information that we now have, if you can put that together and come up with a theory based on all of that, let me know. But you know what's weird is it does feel more like it could be what the boyfriend is saying. It just, because look, watch. If you go right here, I'm going to make this go further up. Thanks, Daddy-O. I always want to say Daddy-O, you know, like the 50s.
Don't forget the scene of the crime podcast on January 2nd.
Yeah. Wow. A paid-for ad. Well, actually, it was the reverse of that. I got paid for someone to put an ad. Wow. That's, All right, I'm going to change this to a different color just so we know that there was this difference. Okay, so this is at the end of the red here is where I interviewed, or I spoke to the guy. It wasn't really an interview. I spoke with the homeowner here, and then he said it was up north. Okay, and down here is where he was found sleeping in a vehicle, Garland. So let's hit this, and now we see, if we go to measurements, that's 1.29 miles. Now starting at the location of where this house was, that I spoke to the guy at the homeowner, up to this location, the last call, how long is that? That's a mile, 0.94. So about 2.3 miles is how far Garland traveled. But it's like, why were you in the woods? There's so many places. From here, you just start walking down the road, and it's not like you needed to go into the woods. Right there, it veers off on the new northwest Old Pumpkin Ridge Road. And then you pass the spot where I flew the drone. I actually flew it like this, back and forth out in this area like that. That's a miracle, Tammy. I don't know how you pull that off. I'll just be sitting around after my show, and I go to YouTube just to kind of wind down, and then almost every single time there's a drama show on. Every single time. Even the ones that are claiming to be true crime, literally 40% of it is talking about some other crap. I mean, I do veer off every once in a while, but I usually spend most of the show, like way more than most, like 95% of the show on the actual topic. Yeah, where were they trying to go? I mean, that's sort of a good point there too, right? Because they're up here, maybe the car breaks down, they ask to use a phone. Well, here's what I want to know. What was said on the phone call? I mean, it obviously made it to somebody. It's not like you'd sit there, call one number, and go, ah. I want to know what was said on that phone call. And then if they're walking out, they know how they got up there, perhaps. Maybe they're trying to make it to 26. But what for? Why not just go, hey, do you mind if we stay here for a few minutes? We're really, going to wait for someone to pick us up. Yeah, well, we don't get to know who they called or what they said. Yeah, but why would they care if they're spotted by cars when they actually went to somebody's house and knocked on their door. You mean like somebody's following them or something? Like a drug deal gone wrong scenario? Come here, Chloe. Well, we don't know, Kelly. I mean, we're just... Are you guys that scared to call in? Seriously. Yeah, I don't listen to Coast at all anymore. I can't stand George Nori. I think he sucks. He also is kind of responsible for art. But he had a lot of problems. Art Bell is like Michael Jordan, and George Nori is Steve Kerr. You know, some crap like that. That's the level I would compare him to. You know, I wouldn't say Nori's Scottie Pippen. You know, it's like Art Bell is so much better. Yep. But I guess when you only have one person, they're on there. Hey, look at that. We got a call here. All right, 503, you're on the air.
Hey, Gray, it's cleaning out the cobwebs.
Cleaning out the cobwebs. You must live here in
How
Oregon.
are you doing?
I think you do live in Oregon, right? Yeah. You got that
Yeah, I do. So Christmas Eve, I had a family member who told me about Allyson going missing, and she told me to, share it and get the word out. And then Christmas Day, I had talked to her, and she went out all day long from like 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. searching. Last I heard from her, she said that they did find some clothes that may have been Allyson's.
Yeah.
But, and then they also found a small like fire pit out in the middle of, Pumpkin Ridge in a wooded area. And so that was on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, they were bringing in dogs. But I'm trying to think of, and then the other thing was I asked her if the boyfriend was talking, and because she's friends with Allison's mom, they went to school together. And she said that the boyfriend, he said that he would talk to the mom, but then he hadn't called her, and that was on Thursday. So he said that he would talk to the mom and give her some information, and then.
Well, he's in jail now, though, right?
He never. What's that?
Well, he's in jail now, though, right? So maybe that
right, but he can call out from jail.
Right. I mean, like, how many do you get? As many calls as you want every day, or?
Well, I don't know. I've never been in jail, so.
Oh, really? I thought you were like always in jail. Oh, weird. Okay.
No, thank goodness, no.
Yeah. Wow.
No, so
okay.
I would imagine, right? I mean, he's under interrogation. I'm sure they're probably saying, you have information, or you need to give Allison's mom, some kind of help in this whole situation. You need to call her and let her know. And I'm sure he, it's up to him, right? So if he does it or not. And as of Thursday, he hadn't called her. So I don't know yet if he has talked to her or given any kind of information, but I am following the same Facebook group. I sent it to you on Facebook too. So I'm following that group. And I feel like every single day it's like, it's something like, okay, wait a minute. Maybe she did just go missing and somebody kind of picked her up along the side of the road. And then today it's like, tomorrow on Monday, be looking for her. And it's like, wait, what?
Yeah. And then also the way that was worded was she may have left on her own. And it's funny, I threw that out as a joke to those two people, that maybe this is all just a ruse of some sort, but I don't know. It's just kind of weird that why would the boyfriend sleep, in overnight in the car. They walked. He's about 2.3 miles away from where they made the phone call. I was wondering earlier if one of those clues they found was clothing. Were they able to verify that was her clothing, or?
I don't know. I have to message my family member and find out if she's heard anything else. But I feel like everything's kind of tight-lipped at this point, where they maybe, I don't know, maybe they have some information and they just don't want word to get out because it's getting kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, it's.
I mean, if you follow the Facebook group, you see people go on there and they're saying that, you know, they were involved in meth, or the boyfriend was involved in meth, and, you know, they were possibly out there doing that, which, like, why would they go all the way out to Pumpkin
Well,
Ridge?
here's something that I thought was interesting. Here, let me show you guys this. Okay, she literally posts on, I'll put it on the screen. She posts on Facebook every single day. Look at that. I mean, like, the 11th. I mean, we're talking about, you know, I'm back in November here. And then all of a sudden, it really just died down. Look at that. There's one on December 13th. One on December 12th there. Then November 11th there. So there's this huge gap. And then none after the December 16th post here. Okay, so on December 16th, she made this post here, but I mean, she went missing on the 22nd or 23rd, right? So that's 7 days of not posting. But if you scroll down in her Facebook page, it's like 4 posts a day for a year. I mean, it's like 2 years. So then you wonder, well, did something change in her life that now she's not on Facebook? You know, and sometimes, I mean, I'm just throwing it out there, you might do drugs, and now Facebook isn't really what your focus is anymore, posting updates and happy things, you know? Because that's a long gap, I mean, for her. Because I'm telling you, you can go on there, like at November 9th, and then, let's see, what is that one? And then this one is, well, I guess that does skip there to October 27th there. No, not November 9th again. Yeah, that's November 9th. Okay, that was the date of something. She's resharing somebody. But yeah, I mean, it's just wild. Every single day she posts, and then all of a sudden there's this big gap. And, you know, what caused that gap? Did she have a relapse of some sort? Was she ever literally addicted to drugs or anything like that? I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. I also saw a post saying that she had gone missing about a year ago, and then word got out that she was missing. People started spreading it around, probably just like a small knit of friends, family, or something. And then she popped up and said, "Hey, I don't have internet or a cell phone or something, but I'm okay." So
but the
it's kind of interesting
that is kind of, is that a real story that's true, or like a verified?
Well, that was on her Facebook about a year ago.
Oh, I mean, even on here, if you go back a little bit. Yeah.
I couldn't say exactly when, but I know it was about a year ago, and that, you know, and then she said, you know, "I'm here. I just don't have, you know, I don't know." I couldn't even imagine. The thing that irks me the most is, you know, from being from the area, not that close to the area, but, you know, I mean, you live in Oregon, you know, those small communities like North Plains, and it's like, why would you go out to North Plains in the middle of winter, right before Christmas time, and do whatever you're going to do out there? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, the hiking obviously is just, I don't know what that's all about. But if they did find a fire pit out there, then why would you go out there and hang out on a Saturday, Sunday morning?
Yeah, but how do they know this fire pit has anything to do with them, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, but then why would you go out there and get drugs out in North Plains when drugs are everywhere in Portland, you know?
Well, I don't know.
Or-
maybe in Portland there's more
go vi-
cops around. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. But I just think that North Plains is kind of, well, I guess the boyfriend lives somewhere in Hillsboro, maybe in the outskirts,
Yeah.
and that his family has a lot of property. So I don't know. Maybe that's just their lifestyle, as they like to go on those kind of adventures, or they did have a friend out there. So hopefully the police know their first destination spot was to go see this friend, right? So the boyfriend should know where the friend lived, if that's really what they were
Yeah.
doing, and then get with that friend and find out exactly what was going on. Right?
There's one post that she has that she shared that says, "Imagine using your limited time on Earth to become an effing police officer." And I'm like, when I read that, it made me mad. And I was like, well, how about this? Imagine your time on Earth without police officers. Okay? Wow, what a crazy place that would be. And how about this? They're the people that are looking for you, trying to help find you. So,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyways, what? It's just I don't have a clue. Right now it feels like maybe they did get lost. I mean, it's interesting. The one that doesn't make sense to me was, like I said, they went missing on the 22nd, and then they go to somebody's house on the 22nd, and they're both muddy and wet, and they make there's a last phone call made, and then on the 23rd in the morning sometime, or actually we don't know when that was, when he's found in a vehicle sleeping, right? It's sometime on the 23rd. And then that homeowner takes him to his house in Hillsboro, and then later his father drives him all the way back out there in the evening on the 23rd. And when around that time, the father then calls police and says, "Hey, we have a missing girl here." Then the police show up. They find the stolen vehicle on the side of the road, and then they find him. But there's somebody that actually says on the 23rd in the morning they saw them both together. So what's up with that? Like the same morning that he's found in the vehicle sleeping, or whatever he was doing, somebody said that they saw them together. So that's a little strange again. It's like, hey, listen, I'm going to go lay down in this car, make it look like I got lost, and then you go do whatever I don't know. It's just something's really weird about it. It doesn't make logical sense at all.
Yeah, it doesn't make, and just seeing like that big German Shepherd, right, that you encountered.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of those people out there are pretty protective of their property and their land. They probably don't get a lot of transients coming out there and, walking on their property. But to find somebody in your vehicle sleeping, probably looking close to homeless at that point because they're, soaking wet or whatever, it's pretty nice of them to, say, hey, I'm going to help you out, or...
Yeah, it's a little strange that you would give them a ride all the way to Hill. I mean, I know people are helpful and everything, but it seems like wouldn't it be more likely? Oh yeah, listen to this part, everybody. He didn't even mention on that drive with the homeowner, on that drive all the way back to his house in Hillsboro, he didn't mention once to that person that his girlfriend was missing. Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you mention that on that drive with that guy? Like, God, I don't know, man. I mean, we were looking around all night, and I was trying to find my girlfriend, and then I just got really cold, and then I got in your car, and I just slept, and wow, he didn't say any of that stuff. It's just, hey,
exactly.
Man. Yeah.
It's almost to the point where the property owner finds him in the vehicle, takes him all the way back to Hillsboro, which is not a short drive, right?
Yeah, it's like 20
takes
minutes.
him to Hillsboro.
30.
He gets home. His father's saying, what's going on? He tells him, perhaps maybe the truth of what happened to the girlfriend. I don't know. And then he says, hey, you need to go back out there. I'm going to call the police. The police are going to come out there and, make it look more legit of you still being out there looking for her.
Right.
I don't know.
And what if they were seen together in that morning?
Speculation.
Well, I know it's speculation, but at this point, that's actually somewhat rational. It's like, it's not even weird. So it's probably about a 15-20 minute drive to Hillsboro. It's 7 miles as a crow flies. But
wet,
yeah,
dark.
It's on the other side of the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the property owner, we're not going to get his interview. They're not going to give us information on what he said, but it's kind of, it's interesting of where the timeline happens, because if he does find him on his property sleeping and he doesn't mention anything of why he's out there or why he's lingering in that area hoping to find his girlfriend that she's missing.
Why'd he give him a ride home?
Yeah, and then he just gives him a ride home and then says, hey, there you go. And then I saw something on the news saying that the property owner had said that he didn't realize who the kid was until he got home and then saw that the girl was missing. Then he was like, oh, hey, I gave that, gave him a ride back.
So that just shows that he didn't say anything about her being missing.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. What did he look like, that guy?
Home.
Because, I met 2 guys there. What did he look like? Dark hair, kind of beard. Do you have a link to that one? Or I want to play it, see if that's the same guy There's 2 guys that were on all-terrain vehicles, and they lived, they shared that driveway or something.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you happen to have a link to that? Are you looking for it, or did I silence you with my question?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have a link.
No, you said you saw an interview with the. Who the hell else am I talking to? What are you talking about? You're actually making me feel weird. Like I was like, whoa, was I just in some weird?
You have like 300 people. You have 300 people watching you.
I haven't even looked at the chat.
Time.
Well, right, but I haven't looked at the chat in like 10 minutes. I'm thinking about what we're talking about.
Oh, I'm tired.
I guess he could have went to when he was sleeping. He could have said, "Yeah, my car broke down. I'm trying to get home." And the guy goes, "Oh, I'll give you a ride." And that was it. As simple as that.
Yeah,
that'd be an easy
true.
reason.
That's true.
Yeah. Because the car did break down. Apparently, it was a stolen vehicle. Genius. So you have a stolen vehicle. And okay, I can see some offshoot scenarios from that. You have a stolen vehicle, you're trying to get home, then you're trying to get home, but you don't want to be found out there and associated with the stolen vehicle, so you're staying off the road. Okay, there you go. Let's say he walked on the road and a car had driven by, or a police car just randomly, just patrolling at night, and then they see this person. Then they would drive up the road and see this car and see that it was stolen and immediately make the association. So they're sort of walking off to the side, not really on the road. And, who knows what that led to. I don't know. But they did make it to that other house,
You would definitely get wet and muddy walking on the side of the road, or even just in that area, because not all the roads are completely paved.
Yeah.
So you would pick up water with your pant leg or something and then go from there. But I just think that it's just, I don't know. I really hope that she was seen in that area on Sunday, because the last time that her family had heard from her was on Friday.
I might have to go out to this house.
That would definitely.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I want to talk to the person in this house where the last call was made. What do you think? Should I go back?
Yeah, definitely.
It's just kind of this lone house. I don't know. It'd be great to knock on the door and just say, "Hey, is this the house where the? Can you tell me more about that? Maybe they'd give me. The
least they can do is not answer the door, or come out and
yeah.
just be rude. But then,
Except, right, watch. This time it'll be a 150-pound Rottweiler, okay? With drool. It'll look a lot like Cujo, right? Oh, my God. I can see it now.
no, they're probably used to having media and all kinds of people flying through there this last almost week.
Right.
So
So what-
you should definitely do that. Put the camera, though, in your car, not on the roof of your car like Cairo does, but
Yeah.
in your car,
It's on my dashboard.
towards the door.
Yeah. What I need is two
Towards the
cameras
door
going
so I
at the
can
same
see you.
time. Yeah, I need like two going at the same time. Like one aiming out the passenger window and then one out the front.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you should have one in your pocket, too, so you can actually like, see.
I should have had, should have put the one that was on my car in my pocket so I could have recorded the conversation with the
Yes.
the guy at the house. Yep. So what were you just saying a minute ago? Because I kind of got sidetracked in my own brain right before I interrupted you about going to that house.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
But I mean, not to kind of do like a whole rabbit hole thing, but this kind of gives me the Maura Murray feeling of her car, something happening in her car, and then she just vanishes.
That is
And
kinda
you
weird.
start to think, what?
It is weird like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope that the boyfriend, so he was charged, right, out of Washington County with like 9 counts of felony and they're not, the ones I saw wasn't like domestic violence, which doesn't mean anything. I mean, obviously anybody can snap doing meth or just being sober, who knows? But I really hope that the charges against him are just for him being dumb and doing drugs. But okay, so what I'm getting at is, of her just vanishing. Maybe he really was looking for her. I don't know though, because Sunday morning and then to Monday morning, that's a good amount of time to do something not good, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of
And
time.
why wouldn't you get help right away? All those cars kind of coming by houses. If you really like the person, wouldn't you just flag somebody down and say, "Hey, I can't find my girlfriend. You need to help me."
Yeah. And the
And
sighting,
not hide out in the car.
it was just before noon when they were seen at that house when they made that call. So how come it's like daylight for another 4 hours and they get lost somewhere? Doesn't that seem strange?
Yeah, very strange.
I wonder, what the red herring might be, it's not out in the media, but there's been 2 people now that have told me that that both of them were seen that following day, so on Monday, together. So how is that possible? If that's true, so that wouldn't be a 30-hour gap then. So that can't be true. They would have fixed that. So I think you can just throw that out. That's a red herring. So basically, because as soon as that would have been verified, they would say, well, now the gap is from 8 a.m. when they were spotted together until, at 5:30 at night. So it would have shortened that up quite a bit. But no. Okay, so throw that out. Forget that whole thing. That is the red shirt in the Molly Tibbetts case.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
And that's when I first found you during Molly Tibbetts
Oh, yeah?
a year ago. Actually, shoot, like a year and a half ago, because that was back in August when she went missing.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
cool. It's been a long time.
I know. These poor people that go missing.
Yeah. Too many.
And how crazy is, I listen to your show all the time. I usually listen to it during work the next day.
Mm-hmm.
But how crazy is it that we have somebody so close to us close to us location-wise that's missing?
Yeah, we had the Kyron Horman a while ago, which is almost sort of not really, it's not in the same area, but it's back up that same side of the 26 up in the hills, way back there. Cornelius. Actually I know where it is, up on Skyline.
Yeah, Skyline.
But that's like the last one that was sort of big. It's weird how this one's got national attention. And I think it's really because she's pretty. I mean, because it's like one of these cases where I was surprised that it didn't pick up quicker, but as soon as her face got out there, oh my God, we better get this, That's just kind of what they do. Like if she was somebody that looked totally different, it'd still be on the back burner, just a weird case. But now it's going to get a lot more people talking about it. I'm sure Nancy Grace will cover it in the next couple days on her podcast. We'll get the, everybody and their dog will start covering it in the true crime genre. Well, that's good though. At least, the more people that know, the more people that do something.
Yeah, I mean, I like when you say that more people are talking about it, and I get that. It's just the, I know this, I know that, and then they throw it out there, and then you just go on like all these different like rabbit holes trying to figure out what is true. And unfortunately, the police, the sheriff, they don't come forward and give you everything that you need to know because obviously it's an investigation.
Yeah.
One other thing that I wanted to mention was what I've kind of been stuck on was that her mom works at Reedville Cafe, right? So over there it's Aloha. I think that's still considered Aloha, maybe Hillsboro, maybe, I don't know. And somebody
the cell phone?
Yeah, gave her a cell phone. And I'm just like stumped on I think that if somebody gave me a cell phone for somebody else to use, like I would remember who gave that to me, right? I don't know.
Right.
I just feel like that's like, how do you not remember who gave you that cell phone? And word's got to be out. It's pretty big here in Oregon. Like, how does somebody not come forward and say, hey, I gave her that cell phone and here is... But then again, I'm like, well, how can FBI, the technology that we have now, it's almost 2020, how can you not get into iCloud account without knowing the password or username or whatever it may be? Like, how?
They really encrypted that. There's some Israeli company that's figured out how to do some of that stuff. Like crack into the iPhone.
Yeah, I mean... So, I don't know, just something like that is just kind of like, it's frustrating, but luckily we probably only know like 20% of the clues or, the timeline or whatever really happened to her.
Because they have, if he has a cell phone, it's pinged all over the place. So,
yeah.
He doesn't seem like he's, the sharpest bulb. Like it seemed like he would have had the phone on, driving around. It would be so interesting if it shows that. Well, here's what I want to know is the thing that they were talking about. Hey, if you heard somebody knocking on your door at midnight on this day, well, how come you wanted to know about that? The only way they would know to ask that question would be if Garland said, yeah, we were walking around and it was really late and we knocked on some doors but nobody answered, and they want to verify that he's telling the truth, and then they want to know what house it was to see if it fits in to a chart, like on a map. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to map things out and put pins out. A lot of people think, oh, great, you're so good at you just do the pins. Yippee, everybody can do pins. Well, how about this? Why don't you go do it then, idiot? Okay? Because the pinning makes a difference, all right? Although I'm glad you don't do it. Because every time you guys do it, you try to copy exactly how I do it instead of just kind of coming up with your own thing. Anyways, that's my bitterness.
Has pins on. Yeah, nobody has pins covering the United States like you do. All right, we know.
They're not even all turned on.
Freaks, we know.
They're not even all turned on. Like if you were looking at the United States right here, I have a bunch on there, but you'd think, wow, that's a lot. But that isn't even close. As a matter of fact, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Here we go. Watch this. I'm gonna.
Yeah, didn't you lose some when you got your new computer?
Yeah, I lost that, but then now I'm gonna turn them all back on. Watch. It's going to take a while. Even just clicking on it takes a while. Oh, wow. It's like frozen it. Okay. There we go. You see that? Look at that damn thing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how many cases we've covered and put pins around. Not even up just here, Canada even. And then you go over to, I think over in up here in the, I should have a bunch up in the UK. Yeah, right there. See that? So, but man, you can't, it's so slow, Google Earth, even moving it around. And like I've said a million times, everybody, if you want to move somewhere safe, move right there, okay? Because for some reason, there's nothing, nothing happens right there, okay? So move there. All right. I'm going to turn these on, all these ones back on again, the recent ones. So what else have you heard?
That's about it. That I know that's legit, coming from somebody who was out there who, you know, spent all day Christmas Day searching. But there was a lot of searchers out there on Christmas Day, so that warms my heart. Like, I really wanted to do it, but I definitely couldn't have.
That'd have been weird to bump into you. Aren't you Gray? You know, because you would recognize me, but I wouldn't know who you were, right? I'd be like, who the...
Right.
Yeah.
And that would have been awesome if I was wearing my We Are Freaks sweatshirt.
Oh, that would have been
and
sweet.
My Oogla Boogla mug.
Yeah, I need to make the Oogla Boogla thermoses. Then people would actually have them out in a cold area.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't
and
know.
you need like a fanny pack. We Are Freaks fanny pack. I would definitely use that.
That might send out a signal to somebody, though. Who knows what that would have meant to them? You know, these weirdos.
Oh, gosh.
Let me see. Yep. Hey, we got 308 people watching. There isn't anybody of the 308 that actually know what's going on here. Well, if you did, you'd probably be calling the police. But have a little bit more information. Because last night we had 2 people that were friends that called in. No, they didn't call in. They were in the chat, but they wouldn't call in.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I think that the closer you are to the family, you're probably more tight-lipped, right? And not to say anything. And I think that I saw his sister pretty chatty on one of the Facebook pages, like maybe Thursday or Friday, and she was definitely defending her brother and saying that her brother wouldn't have done anything to his girlfriend. So that was good to see. But I haven't seen too many comments from her. So
I mean, it's definitely possible that what he's saying.
Yeah,
if you put drugs into the mix and you let's say they go to somebody's house. What I'm confused about though is that they were on their way to somebody's house when their car broke down. Have you heard that same thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so why didn't they just call the person that they were supposed to be going to and have them do something? You know, like, hey, Jim, we're our car broke down here. Can you come get us? Help us out? Instead, they sort of start wandering down a road. It's almost like, were they driving the stolen car to this other person's house, or were they going to the house to buy drugs, let's say? I don't know. I almost feel like they made it to wherever they were going and the car broke down after that. I think that part of it might have been made up so that they didn't have to implicate the friend, right? So so the friend probably they made it to the friend's house. However, they're saying, he's saying, I never made it there, because he doesn't want the friend implicated in the drugs they might have taken. So they go over to this person's, let's not even call him a friend, just somebody. And that person's house, they did drugs. Then they leave, and maybe the car breaks down. They get out, and they're just totally stoned and disoriented, and they're just walking around, and he doesn't even know what the hell he's looking at. I mean, if they're on like shrooms or something or anything like that, they're not even. You know, everything looks great, I guess, and I've never done shrooms or acid, by the way. I'm just saying, my roommate in college did it, and he tried to explain it to me, and it never. I couldn't even comprehend what the hell he was talking to me about. But, you know, I could see that you're just sort of looking at weirdness, and You could get separated. I can totally imagine you getting separated on anything like that, or if you're on meth or something, you just sort of sit down, get really comfortable. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they're walking, and well, one of the things that's strange.
Middle of the day, though.
Well, it's also 12 hours later that they want to know if somebody's ringing on the doorbell. It's like, what were you doing for those 12
that's a
hours?
long time.
Hey, thanks,
Yeah.
Shirley. Because at 12 noon, right, is when the person saw them and they were still on.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow, it's telling me. No, it looks like we're connected. Can you guys hear us now? Hello. Are we still on the same show, or did it start another one? Oh, it says it's offline. Let's see. Are we back on again? Because it says I have an end stream thing. Okay, are we on the same stream, or is this a new stream? Okay, good. Wow. Okay, good. Oh, man. That was crazy. I was looking at this thing, and it just popped up and said, got disconnected, trying to reconnect. Wow, look at all that people. Same. Bingo, bingo, bingo. I gotta do the auctioneer sound.
Oh, yeah, you have to do it.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God, where is it? I gotta open it up. Yeah. Oh, didn't have it open. That would have been a good timing. Yeah, I think we were sort of on to something there a minute ago, though. What the hell were we saying? I got so distracted.
Oh, them doing drugs, and then their
Yeah.
car breaking down, the stolen car breaking down, and then them just wandering around aimlessly. And then, like you said earlier, maybe they got into a fight. I just think that it would be weird to be walking down a road and not know where you are with somebody you care about, even if you're doing drugs, and then just kind of like, oops, I lost them kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And then you're not yelling out for them. You're not calling their phone over and over again. You're not going back to the stolen vehicle and just waiting there for them to come back to that spot. I don't know, but I've never done some hardcore drugs before or ventured out. So,
but it definitely doesn't make any sense to me that they broke down heading to somebody's house in that area, and then
You're back on.
and then they just disappeared from the whole story. So for me, it feels like that was they'd been there, left, and don't want to implicate him in terms of the drugs that maybe he had. You know, I don't know. Just a thought. Just a thought.
And here's a thought too. Almost the home with all the vehicles, the hoarder house. And then he's found there sleeping, almost kind of like he knew the person, but then he was just like, I'm not going to bother them and knock back on their door tonight, so I'm just going to go sleep out in my car, and then they're going to take me home, but I'm going to say that I didn't know them. They're going to say they didn't know me, kind of a thing.
Well, I did see the two guys. See, the two guys, when I got there, they went driving up this road here, and they seemed like they were looking around for her. I don't know. I didn't get the feeling that maybe I didn't get the feeling that they were hiding something.
Okay. Well,
they could have been, though. I mean, just me having that feeling doesn't mean a damn thing. I mean,
no, but I mean that's you kind of can sense a lot from talking to somebody and them looking at you and making conversation. But I don't know, it kind of goes back to missing Maura Murray. There's been a lot of locals in that area who've, openly talked about them seeing Maura that night and running down the road. And then, they were one of the main suspects of people in that area thinking it was them. And
well, I was right here, right? So I flew the drone up in the air right here on the 24th, and I flew it over out in this. I was only there for like an hour total, because I got there late, but I was flying it back and forth here, and then they drove up and they said, oh, that's okay. And then the next day I came out, and then I walked to right there, and all of a sudden now it's a big deal. They were upset that I went to there, just not even very far, just literally like 40, right here, because now I can get a view. It was hard here because there's tall trees, but from here you can actually see out over this and then really kind of direct it. I was wondering, I wanted to get down through this valley here because that's where I could see somebody getting stuck and not being able to get out or something. But anyways, they got all pissy, and then right at that time, my car was parked right here, and then he was pulling out here, and then search and rescue had 3 cars just pull up right when I was there, and then a sheriff, the guy that you see on the news that does search and rescue sheriff work.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was him, but I saw him out there too. But this guy walked over and spoke to that guy, and he was like, yeah, it was right here. You know, so it sounded like that is the spot where the guy slept, or where Garland slept that night. But I felt a little bit.
Why would you stop somebody?
Right, that's what I mean. It felt weird when they had me, when they were so like, get off it, you can't be here though. Well, how come? Like, what do you care?
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, wouldn't you be really helpful?
There's somebody missing.
Yeah. So that was weird.
If there's somebody missing, you want them to go anywhere and everywhere to look for this person that could be, maybe trapped underneath a car, or who knows, right? But I mean, flying a drone, that's not a whole lot of footprints going out there, so you're not damaging their grass or whatever it could be. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's weird.
So just think about that scenario. They're way up there, and then they walk all the way down here, and then in the middle of the night, he's walking down this road, and he just sort of gets into one of these vehicles. That's just bizarre, I mean, at that time, I don't know. I'm just getting so confused. Like, you want to know about somebody knocking on a door at midnight? Well, that's 12 hours later. I mean, you'd almost be hypothermic at 12 hours.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a lot of gear on out in that, because it was 42 degrees, and they're just walking around outside for 12 hours and slightly drizzly, damp.
Yeah, and on the missing poster of her with the article of clothing that she was wearing, she's not wearing a heavy-duty North Face jacket. She's just wearing, it looks like just kind of like a thin, not something that she was prepared to go hiking or go play in the forest kind of a thing.
Yeah, was that even... Yeah, go ahead.
So his mugshot, right? I've never been arrested, knock on wood, but okay, so how often, if he's been arrested before, do they take his mugshot each time that he's arrested?
Let's see. Yeah.
So I asked that because there's scratches on his nose, right? There's scratches on his nose, and he's smiling in the picture.
Well, I saw the scratches. I talked to them about them last night. I mean, if you're in those woods at all, you're going to scratch all over the place. So you wouldn't be able to, to really know why or anything like that. I don't think he's smiling that much. He's just...
You don't think he's smiling that much?
Well, that's not something that jumped out at me.
Gray, go look at the picture. He's smiling like he's proud of getting his mugshot.
Oh, okay. Duper's Delight, everybody. Here we go. Hey, what was the first name of this guy?
Oh no.
Was it like something? It's Garland, right?
Yeah, it's Is it? I want to say Brandon, but Garland.
I don't know. I didn't see him smiling.
We begin on this Christmas night, sadly, with a family who is begging for help. Teams of
Let's see. Just want to see a picture of him.
According to Allyson Watterson's family,
if you go to Washington County's website, he's on the front page of it. His mugshot is.
Okay.
Well, it was a couple days ago. I should make sure I say that.
Yeah. Well, Benjamin, they're saying. Benjamin Garland.
Okay.
Garland. Okay.
I was close.
What'd you say, Jim?
I said Brandon.
Okay, yeah, that's Benjamin Garland. Garland. Yeah, maybe. Maybe he's got a little smile there. It's hard to,
Okay.
It's hard to totally tell though, because if you're squinting, it has that look, Although although he's got a little bit right there. I don't know. It's hard for me to. He doesn't look too happy in that one.
If you're high as a kite, then maybe you're like F you to the camera with a big smile. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. And of course, that's, been talk, right? That mugshot. Yeah. And then him being arrested basically right away. I mean, they're gonna keep him there, hopefully, and hold him for whatever he has been charged with so far. But I thought he was supposed to make a court appearance on Thursday, but I never saw anything, so Washington County probably didn't post it.
Well, it looked like that's what this is right here, right? I mean, I don't know if that's... I see in this picture there, that looks like a court hearing. Let's see. Makes court appearance. So I actually think that shot you might be looking at is old. You notice how he doesn't have the same bags there? Yeah, makes a court appearance on December 26th. He doesn't have those same bags. Doesn't seem to have the same marks on his face as this image. See, look at the bags under his eyes right there. Really pronounced. And then he's got some sort of a mark on his nose right there. But when you look at this one, although the lighting's not the greatest there. Hey, thanks, Giddy Up and Melody. Giddy Up and Melody. And go Melody. Giddy Up and go Melody. There you go. All right.
There you go.
Man, you're gonna give Crystal, aka Beaver Gaming sub Crystal, a run for her money in a little bit here. Giddy up and go Melody. Giddy up and go Melody. Melody. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's take a look at this one here. Yeah, see, where's his bags under his eyes? That's another one of him in the...
Yeah?
He looks totally different. I mean, if I looked at this and the other one, I would have a hard time knowing that was him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Seriously,
a good point.
It's weird. Like, he looks... Like, look at this picture. I mean, even though he's got the similar hair, he just... We don't even know when this was, right? Let's see. Let's see what they say. This is Daily Mail. Yeah. They said Washington County Sheriff's Office, but what does that mean? When was that taken? I mean, look, he's got the little red mark there. Is something on his nose. And then when you go to that other picture, you can't really see any of that. Although, I gotta admit, it's not a crystal clear photo, the other one, so...
Yeah.
What was the rumor? Hey, I want to hear what they said about Parker Schnozzle's ex-girlfriend. I always watch. You ever watch Gold Rush? That's a good show, man.
Yeah, I used to watch that. That was a good one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't really know. I don't really have any more to ponder on at this point. I'm stuck.
Yeah. I definitely think you need to go back out to North Plains and go to the house where the last phone call was made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And maybe, see if they'll talk a little bit.
Yeah, I want to go right there. And then I might even just drive right up here just to say, hey, this is where they said to start looking. And then go down this way. And that looks a little dodgy, though. I'm going to have to pull into here. Is that even a house, though? That looks... But I'm gonna have to go into there, and then there's this like, they're gonna have a massive dog. I know it. God, I know it. You watch, man. That's hidden there. You walk around that corner, you pull in right there,
That's true.
and then, oh man. I'll have to give it. I'll give it a look when I go there. I'll see what's going on. But it's about 2.
Or maybe just pull up.
Yeah.
Or pull up, and then if they have cameras or something, something's going to be alerted, and then just sit there for a little bit, maybe, and then maybe they'll come out and talk to you that way.
Oh, that'd be fantastic if they have cameras to be alerted, and then they'll come out with like a gun. Who are you? You know, if that's where they went, I don't know. Oh yeah.
Oh no, who would investigate if you went missing?
That's right.
Nancy Grace.
Oh yeah. That's right. Well, you guys will all
right,
know
Greg.
that that's where I was headed. Yeah, well, hey, thanks for calling in.
Yep. And so
Cleaning
hopefully
up
the
the
best
cobwebs.
will happen, and she'll be seen this week, and she'll come home. That's gonna be my hope.
Are your cobwebs cleaned out?
No, they never are. I mean, I try, but it just, you know.
They're just perpetually cleaning them out, right?
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. But calling you, you know, every other month, I think I call. I don't know. I've called you like 6-7 times in the last year. They get cleaner and cleaner each time I call. So you're kind of like a therapist, you know.
What would your name be later then? What would you call it?
Oh, I'm sticking to that one. That's my trademark.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Well.
All right.
Hey, well,
Bye, freaks.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
All right.
Have a
See you
good
later.
one.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Cleaning out the cobwebs. Well, I think that we're about the end of what we can be discussing on this tonight. I did mention earlier that in the case of the missing, the Rexburg case, all right? I guess that's easy. You're right. I should have used that. Lori Vallow case, that the Joseph Ryan here, his autopsy does seem like he died of some sort of heart deal, but at the same time, that's similar to, you know, maybe how Tammy died and Alex. But here's the thing that matters the most to me and always has, and this one sort of just, I put it on there because he's connected, and this is something I haven't mentioned before, is that Alex Cox here has, he was at a courthouse one time and he stun gunned this guy. That's why I put that arrow there, because he stun gunned him at one point, and then Lori pretty much took care of Alex after that because he had to serve some months in jail or prison or whatever the hell it was. Okay, but this one, and this one, they're all spouses of these 3 people right here. That's weird. Okay, there you go. So this one doesn't seem as likely anymore, given the timing. We just don't know, and we'll never get to know because he was cremated. All right, well, that's it. Yeah, well, I don't want to go missing, so forget it. The mother... Oh, yeah, the mother? Yeah. Yeah, I think we need to wait on this a little bit here. Something's not right. And those 2 property owners were like, I don't even think she's in the area. And if she has done it before where she left and then showed up again, who knows what's going on here? Nobody knows. This story is just really, really bizarre. Huh? I don't even know what that means, Norma. Hey, good night, Joe Milano. I don't have an update on Peyton Houston. I'm not sure why everybody's all of a sudden covering that one too. There's no new information on that case. It's just, unless there was something that broke today that I didn't see. It's very similar to the Spurlock case, but... Yeah, no problem. Okay, just shut down the... So I guess I'll just do a quick recap here. Alright. So today, you guys saw on the video of me driving down the highway right here. And then I took... yeah, this exit right here. And then drove up like this. Somewhere around in there. Let's see, how did I get there? Oh yeah. Okay. So I took this, I think there's an exit around in this area somewhere. Where the hell is that? Oh yeah, right there. I took this exit. Then right in this area, I took a, okay, this exit right there, took a right, then drove up northwest Old Pumpkin Ridge Road until it came to a T. Then you're on Northwest Pumpkin Ridge Drive at this point, and drove up like this, and this is where I went the first 2 days. And then today I drove up further, and I was all the way up here, and then eventually I drove down and said, you know what, I'm gonna stop at a neighbor's house. So then I pulled into this neighbor's house here, well, not a neighbor, a resident that's in the area. And this huge German Shepherd came out, and I was talking to this guy, and he said, yeah, the sighting, verified sighting, was up north. So I drove, you know, I didn't go back. I think I drove back up there again, and then I headed all the way back down and came here, okay? And then it turns out when I got back to my home, and then I chatted with one of the searchers, and they actually gave me a map that showed where the last call was made from. And then it said, start here, right here. So I thought, well, maybe that's where the car was found. I don't know. Just a guess. Okay. So the story is on the 22nd of December, Allyson and Benjamin went to North Plains to go to somebody's house. Their story is that the car broke down before ever making it to that friend's house. Then somehow they started walking around, and at about noon they went to somebody's house, and apparently at that point used a phone. So that would have been right here. And then they started walking, and at that time though, what's weird is that they were muddy. See, that doesn't make any sense, right? They were muddy and wet when they got to this house. So where were they prior to that? I mean, how did they get wet and muddy prior? If that is where to start there, right? I mean, it seems like that's a short walk to then go, well, they're wet and muddy, so let's start here searching, but they were here and they're wet and muddy. That's like literally 100 yards or something. But anyways, around noon, apparently, they were spotted by a residence there, and they were wet and muddy, and they made their last phone call from that area. You know, we might be missing something. Maybe there was somebody else that saw them, and this is the last place that they were making the phone call. We don't know. But anyways, after that, that's at noon. They're both spotted. Then the next morning at some point, all the way down here, about 2.3 miles away, Benjamin is found sleeping in one of these vehicles right here. The homeowner found him sleeping in the vehicle, and whatever conversation they had, the homeowner then took Benjamin all the way over to Hillsboro here, and then he obviously went back home or whatever, but then Benjamin drives back out at some point with his father And then his father calls the police and says at 5:30 and tells the police that Allyson is missing. Then the police drive out there. They find the stolen vehicle, a stolen vehicle. And then it turns out that that stolen vehicle was the one that Benjamin was driving. And they found Benjamin just a short ways away or in the area. And that's weird. And it's weird that it took him 30 hours from the noon the day before all the way till 5:30 the following day. So that's 24 hours plus 5. So 29 and a half hours later, that's finally when she was reported missing. And really, that's about it. That's all we got. And apparently the police are looking for somebody who gave Allyson's mother a cell phone. That's a Wi-Fi only cell phone. And it's the cell phone that Allyson had with her. And they want to know who gave that phone to them because they have access to unlocking the cloud storage information that might have some information on it. So they are looking for that person. They may have already been in contact with that person. We just don't know about it. It's not something that would make the paper after they came forward. Okay, there's no way that would make the paper. What else? Am I missing anything else? Apparently they did find some things of interest out there. Cleaning out the cobwebs. Just told us one of her friends said that they found maybe some clothing items that are associated. A fire out in a fire pit that was out in the woods. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, everybody. Well, that's it. That's it. Maybe I'll do a flyby around in this area. What do we got? Yeah. That's just what it looks like. But before I do that, hey, thanks, Caro. Let's see. Actually, I think this works better. So thank you to Curious Georgia for the super chat, Karen K, Linda Howell, and then David Arnold and Kay became members of the channel, and then Dottie O, Caspian Horses Rock, Shirley Aisha again, telling me, hey, your live stream is back on, and then Giddy Up and Go Melody is also a member. So now you get blue next to your name. I appreciate that because I lost 2 Patreon members. Excellent. Okay, now at the end of the show, what we normally do, and by the way, I missed doing if you haven't hit the like button, make sure you hit that like button right now. Hit the like button, hit the like button, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, hit the like button, hit the like button, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, hit the like button, like button, like button, like button, hit the like button, like button, like button, 30, sir, 25, you're out, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 55, 60. Okay. Oh boy. Oh yeah, let me do Kelsey's So Mean. Here we go.
Ray is so mean.
I haven't done some of these in a while. Let's work through some of these. What's this one? Control. This is EVP reading. Remember? Yes, it said I'd like to have a cup of coffee right at the end there. I don't know if you heard that or not, but it definitely said I want a cup of coffee. It's a joke, Norma. That's... yeah. Okay. You guys ready? I'm gonna do a flyby right around in this area. There's definitely more wooded out there. There's Daro's voice from a long time ago. Remember that? Look, that's Mount St. Helens. Isn't that crazy? Look, you can see it. Just blew out all this direction. Filled up this lake. Created a lot of crap. Hey, thanks, Lanky Tor. Congratulations on your 49ers. And no, I didn't watch the game. And there it is. The Nebulae Iglugluglaglagliglin. Which is weird. That's a weird name that they would come up with, but I'm sure it exists since there are trillions of nebulae. Okay? Now see if you can write back what I just said. I have no idea. It's really just any sort of guttural sounds that you could possibly make probably does exist out there as a name of some sort of star system out there. Whether, who knows? Who said it? All right, everybody. Thank you very much for showing up tonight. I'm right here. Looks like Chloe is now chilling out after battling with Blue all day, man. They were wrestling and 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 wrestling. All right, everybody. Thank you for supporting the channel. Make sure to hit that notification bell if you've never hit it. And hit the subscribe button as well. That actually will get you started at least. And then hit the notification bell. All right, everybody. Thank you for showing up. And until next time, be safe out there.